What's up? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Yo, 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 what's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Let some of y'all get up in here real quick. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Already. What's up? What's the deal? I know I'm late. I apologize. I apologize. But what's good with you? Already. Already. What's up? What's up? What's up? Make sure you hit that like button. Already. What's the deal? Make sure you hit that like button. Already. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good? What's good? What's good? Make sure you hit that like button. What's good with you? What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again, man. What's the deal? What's the deal? The Houston Texans will take on the San Francisco 49ers Sunday at NRG. It's going to be H-Town Blue. That's why I got the H-Town Blue. You know what I'm saying? It's H-Town Blue Day. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. But, as a fan base, we are disappointed because the team is 2-4 after having an 0-3 start that people were not, I wouldn't say now, I definitely wouldn't say overreacting. I think people was acting or reacting appropriately how they started off their 0-3 stretch. Then they win two games against Tennessee and against Baltimore, and people started getting back on the bandwagon. The offense looked explosive. It was able to move the football. They would get into the end zone, all these different type of things, and then went to the bye week. So then everybody came in Monday night, London, say late Monday night against Seattle, and we thought that we were going to be able to at least handle business for at the very least look competitive. And even though the game was a one-score game, it didn't feel like it was a one-score game. The Texans did everything they could to constantly offensively to lose that game, while Seattle was doing everything offensively to keep Houston in the game, and the defense somewhere in the middle, helping the defense, helping Seattle win the game, and also help trying to put the Texans offense back into the game. And we ended up losing that game 27-19. Um, we ended up losing the game 27-19 in Seattle, and the offense just looked absolutely putrid, looked absolutely horrendous. That was a horrible effort. The offense just looked absolutely bad. Just completely, absolutely bad. What's up, bro? What's up, Honcho? Man, shout out to my boy Honcho, man. Soft Sports, you know who he is. Uh, but it the offense just looked bad. The team in general, in my opinion, looked bad, but the defense did what they could, forcing 4 turnovers to keep the Texans, get the Texans in the game, keep the Texans in the game. Offensively, with Nick Caley wasn't able to do anything. And again, it's not even the elephant in the room at this point. It's just common knowledge. This Texans offense is not good enough to win games consistently. They're just not. And now you're going up against San Francisco and against a defense at the very least schematically, has given CJ fits. I said this going into the bye that these next 4 games was the biggest 4 game stretch of the season for the Texans. People were asking me why, because was it Mike McDaniels? Not Mike McDaniels. Mark McDaniels, whoever the coach for Seattle, used to be the DC of the Baltimore Ravens. He was the DC CJ's rookie year with the Baltimore Ravens when CJ could not score a touchdown against their defense the first game of the season and also in the playoff game. Offense looked bad against their defense. It's the guy who constructed and created their defense. So I had a feeling that this defense was going to give CJ problems. Well, it's the same thing with this defense with San Francisco able to give CJ problems as well because this is the same under Robert Salah, the Jets, both matchups, CJ's rookie year and last year, gave CJ fits, and CJ looked bad in both those games. Now, granted, last year on Thursday Night Football, by that time, Robert Salah was already fired from the Jets, but it was still the same scheme. They were still running the same scheme. It's obviously the same players and things like that. So it's the scheme that's giving CJ fits. Isn't it? It's the scheme and the way they're able to coach it up. And again, I think Robert knows how to coach up this defense well enough to get CJ and confuse CJ and put CJ in a rut. I said this, like, you go back and look at no matter how good Deshaun was when Deshaun was a Texan, he had fits against Eberflus's defense when Eberflus was in Indianapolis. Like, he always had fits against that defense. You go look at Tom Brady back in the day. Tom Brady used to have fits going up against Miami. That defense coordinator knew how to coach up against Miami. Same thing with Peyton Manning in Jacksonville and also with the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, at that time, San Diego Chargers. Those defenses gave those quarterbacks fits. So sometimes it's just certain defensive coordinators know how to coach up and scheme up against specific quarterbacks because they can highlight those weaknesses and exploit those weaknesses rather. And that's the situation that you find yourself in last week on Monday Night Football with the Seattle, and you're going to find yourself in this weekend with the 49ers. Now, kind of similar to the 49ers, kind of similar to Seattle, the 49ers is missing some players on defense, just like the Baltimore Ravens were. Seattle's missing some players in the secondary now. They had their front, which I thought was going to cause a lot of problems, and obviously it did. There's people missing on this 49 defense as well. So it could be a way for maybe some type of breather for CJ, and CJ may be able to catch some breaks, but he's going to be going into this game without his number one target, Nico Collins. Like Nico Collins, you can set your clock by, set your watch by, that Nico Collins is going to miss time at some point in the season. He's done it every single year. He's missed at least, I think, 2 games every year. He at least missed 2 games every single season from his rookie year all the way to last year. Last year he missed the most. He missed 5 straight games, but he's missed time every single season. He's missed at least 2 games, and he got a concussion. He's going to miss this week. There's a chance also that he might miss next week against Denver, but you don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. But you already know that it's guaranteed he's not going to play Sunday, him or Kurt, if I'm not mistaken. I think Kurt's going to be out again. So you're going to be depending on the young guys, the guys who can't get on the field. You're going to be depending on those guys. They have not get on the field. You're going to be depending on Jalen Noel, Jalen Higgins, and Hutch. You're going to be depending on those guys to actually go out there and make plays for CJ in this offense. And we've seen some good things out of Noel on Monday, rather. Like, Noel, in my opinion, showed that he should have been playing a lot more, no matter what the situation was. And I said that going into that game weeks ago, that he should be, I wouldn't say the primary target, but he should be somebody who they should be exploiting. They're able to use that to exploit that Seattle defense because they were weak in the secondary. And also, you've seen what Abuka did 3 weeks ago. Again, don't think Jalen Noel is a Mecca Buka, but I do think they could do some of the same things similarly, so you could possibly use them in their way. And Kaylee's game plan wasn't that. When you looked at the plays that Noel made on Monday, that was just Noel just making his own plays. Like, they played right before halftime, that 23-yard reception to put him in the field goal range. That was just Noel going up and getting the football. The same thing on that 4th down play when they got to the red zone, got to the 1-yard line. That was Jalen Noel just going out there, plugging the football out of there, making a play for his team in a desperate situation. It's 4th and 5. We down by 2 scores. We need a play. Who can make a play? I can. Who can make a play? I can. Like, that's what Jalen Noel was doing, and we're going to need more of that We're gonna need more of that. We need Nick K to understand what he has and able to utilize these guys. But at the end of the day, these guys that's on this field, they just gotta go out there and they just gotta go out there and play, man. They just gotta go out there and play. Let's get into some of these numbers. So on the CJ, on the season rather, CJ is 100 has 125 completions off of 193 attempts, has a completion percentage of 64.8, has thrown 1,305 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Nick Chubb has ran the ball 63 times for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 4.3 yards a carry. Woody Marks has carried the ball 46 times for 152 yards, averaging 3.3 yards a carry, and has a touchdown, and also has 9 receptions for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins again, not playing this, not going to be playing this game, but Nico really hasn't been having the season that you thought he would have anyway. Don't know if that's a lot to do with Nico Collins, with CJ Stroud, Nick Caley. I feel like it's a combination of all three personally, but Nico on the season has had 26 catches for 339 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz is your leading receiver as far as reception wise. Dalton Schultz has 30 receptions for 284 yards, no touchdowns though. Xavier Hutchinson has 13 receptions for 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Higgins has 9 receptions for 121 yards and 1 touchdown. And Jalen O has 9 receptions for 99 yards and 1 touchdown himself. Like I said, right now, Dalton Schultz is your leading receiver as far as reception wise. Nico is your leading receiver in yards and in touchdowns on the season right now. Now, Brock Purdy has been in and out of the lineup all season. So they've been doing most of their damage with Matt Jones. Who? Matt Jones. Yeah, I know the same Matt Jones that was with New England, then went to Jacksonville. And to be honest, he's found himself a home, I feel like, in San Francisco. And kind of one of the reasons why I thought it was a mistake to pay Brock Purdy like this offseason. Like I didn't think that Brock Purdy should have got paid. I think if anything, he should have just got franchise tagged. I mean, Dak got franchise tagged. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dak was franchise tagged twice before Dallas actually paid him, because they just went to the Super Bowl before he got there with less talent around. Before they had McCaffrey, before they had Brandon Ayuk and things like that, they made the Super Bowl. Yeah, they made the Super Bowl with him, but they just made the Super Bowl a couple years before him. I don't think that Brock Purdy was the catalyst, but I digress. But Matt Jones on the season has 130 completions off of 194 attempts, has a completion percentage of 67%, has thrown for 1,404 yards, has 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Now McCaffrey on the season, McCaffrey's been doing some damage. McCaffrey has McCaffrey has 100 and I make sure I had that right. McCaffrey has 132 carries for 465 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's also caught the football 53 times for 516 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's their leading rusher, and he's their leading receiver, and he also is their leading in receiving yards. He's also their leader in receiving touchdowns. Kendrick has 25 receptions for 385 yards. He's their second leading receiver in yards and catches. And then Ricky Pascal has 20 receptions for 327 yards. Like I said, McCaffrey's been doing all of the damage. Like McCaffrey's been doing all the damage for the San Francisco 49ers offense as far as running and receiving. He's playing like his with the a couple years ago when he could have won the MVP. A couple years ago, I think he won Offensive Player. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the year that San Fran went to the Super Bowl and lost to Kansas City in overtime. That's when McCaffrey had his best season, and he's out there playing like that again. McCaffrey, if it was a Texan, would be the Texans' leading receiver in yards and touchdowns and catches already as the running back. Like he's leading both teams in yards and catches, and he's a running back. And he's also leading both teams in rushing as well. Now, when you look at the team's numbers, scoring offense, the Texans are 21st scoring offense, only averaging 21.2 points a game. But San Fran no better. San Fran is 23rd scoring offense, only averaging 2.7 touchdown, 2.7 20.7. I'm sorry, 20.7 points per game. Total offense. The Texans are 22nd in total offense, only getting 304 yards a game. San Fran's the sixth total offense in the NFL, averaging 370 yards a game. Passing, Texans are 23rd in passing offense, only averaging 198 yards a game. San Fran, the number one passing attack in the NFL, 271 yards a game. Rush offense, the Texans are the 18th best rush offense, only averaging 105 yards a game. Now, San Fran, on the other hand, is a worse rushing offense. Only they're 24th, only averaging 95.3 rushing yards a game. Now, when you look at the defense, we already know the Texans are the top of the tier when it comes to their defensive stats. Defensively, the Texans are the number one scoring defense, only allowing 14.7 points a game. San Fran, on the other hand, scoring defense is 22nd. They allowing 25 points a game. Total defense, the Texans are fourth in total defense, only averaging 274 yards a game. San Fran is the 13th best total defense, averaging and allowing 317 yards a game. Texans are the fifth best passing defense in the NFL, only allowing 179 yards a game. Uh, San Fran is the 18th best passing defense, averaging 216 yards a game. Texans are the 10th best run defense, allowing 95 yards a game. San Fran is the 12th best run defense, averaging 100.2 yards a game. So, um, defensively, the 49ers gives it seems like the 49ers gives up some yards and points defensively. Offensively, they haven't gotten a lot of points, but they get a lot of yards. It's like they're able to move the football mostly through the passing game. And when you look at what McCaffrey's done, like I said, McCaffrey's already we at week 7, in the first 7 games, McCaffrey already has half of 1,000 as in receiving yards. He already has 1,000 yards of total offense as far as rushing and receiving, 6 touchdowns total. So we're talking about a guy that's probably going to end up getting close to 18, 19 total yards from rushing and receiving. If not, end up getting 2,000 yards fully, gets a full 2,000 yards, because it seems like what they're doing is they're giving the football to him a lot. They're doing a lot of screens and things like that, running him out the backfield, able to get the football into his hands, him able to make plays on the in the air as far as receiving. That's what it seems like. I think that's why most of their passing stats are the way they are, because Matt Jones only had 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His completion percentage is at 67%. So and again, he's thrown with like one more pass. Actually, he has 194 attempts. CJ has 193 attempts, and he's also played another game, but he's also the backup quarterback. He wasn't starting as well, and he's able to catch that up and has more yards and stuff than CJ. So I do think a lot of that has to do with him just dumping the football off to his running back and McCaffrey. So when you look at that, I do think that that's mostly what they're doing. That's how they mostly doing a lot of their damage. Because again, they're missing players as well, offensively and defensively. They're missing players. Us is really missing players and excuse for the Texans, because, like I said, as we know, Nico Collins and Kurt not gonna be playing because of Kurt with his hamstring, if I'm not mistaken, and obviously Nico has the concussion. So when you put those things into perspectives, and again, this team is 5-2. I think they're second in the NFC. It's a good football team, well coached under Kyle Shanahan. We know Kyle Shanahan very well. Kyle Shanahan got his start as an offense coordinator here in Houston, so we know Kyle Shanahan very well, and we know what he can do. He's been to 2 Super Bowls as a head coach. He's been to Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator when he was with Atlanta, and won the MVP, Matt Ryan. So we know what he can do offensively, and we know that he can coach guys up that really don't think have a lot of talent. Like, obviously, we was able to do with Garoppolo. He got a Super Bowl with Garoppolo, got to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo, got to the Super Bowl again with Brock Purdy. And he's able to coach up Matt Jones. And also, I mean, it was a rumor that that's who a lot of the people in that building wanted Matt Jones in their draft. They ended up going after and get Trey Lance. But the rumor was that somebody in that building, I don't know if it was uh, John Lynch, if it was the owner, if it was Kyle, whoever what want somebody in the building reportedly did want Matt Jones, and they finally got their hands on Matt Jones. And even though Brock Purdy had his injury, Matt Jones ain't missed a beat. And there's confirmed that Matt Jones is going to be playing. That Brock Purdy's out. Matt Jones is going to be playing on Sunday, and they up here still winning football games, still the number 2 seed in the AFC. They able to turn around and hand the ball off to number 23, and he's able to make the plays that he's able to make and able to help them and put them forward and win games. So that's really the focus of the defense, is find a way to eliminate CMC. But we're gonna see, can the defense actually go out there and follow directions. But shout out to that boy Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Houston Texans is the first team in NFL history to lead with points per games and allow in 2025 with a losing record. Oh, you didn't say losing. Who's getting the tight end Kittle, the running back McCaffrey, because Derek will be focused on the wide receivers. And shout out Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, because we don't use C Harris anymore. So I don't know if they're gonna use speed and try to put speed out there and let speed go out there and worry about McCaffrey or maybe Jalen Petrie, maybe Jalen Petrie. Uh, I don't even know if Kills is Kills gonna be playing, because like I know Kills has been hurt too. I don't know. I don't even know confirmed if Kills is gonna play. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know defensively what they're gonna do as far as, like, I don't think there's they don't have a bona fide receiver. Like, I mean, I know Kendrick has been playing well, 25 receptions for 385 yards. I don't think that it's going to be a man up situation like I was calling for last week with JSN, because again, even with JSN, they went away from that. They started that off and then they went away from it. They went away from Stingley taking out JSN because Stingley couldn't take out JSN. And then there was a whole reportedly some type of disconnect because D'Amico Ryan said that he told that they were supposed to be putting their hands on Jason and pressing up and playing press coverage, and they obviously they wasn't. They was off. He was saying that they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. But then when you had Stingley in the locker room, Stingley says he did what he was coached to be doing. So obviously there's somebody lying somewhere. So either D'Amico's lying to us or or Stingley's lying to us. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. So I don't, again, none of us know who did what. But I said this Monday, and um I said it Monday. I said it Tuesday. 'Cause I was on the Polite for What podcast. The people from the Polite What, and shout out to them. They had reached out to me. And I actually joined the podcast on Tuesday to do a breakdown of what happened with the game. And I said then that eventually, if it hasn't already started, eventually a mutiny is going to start between the offense and the defense. When the defense is up here forcing 4 turnovers and up here stopping this team, was like holding the team with 2 for 14 for third downs, like 2 for 13, 2 for 14 on third downs. They got 4 turnovers. They turned one of the turnovers themselves into a touchdown because they recovered in the end zone, and they also blocked the field goal. So that means you stopped them from scoring 5 different times. 5 times that they had the football, they had a chance to score. You turned the ball over, and one time you flipped it to a touchdown for you, and then you also blocked a field goal, so they came up empty on those drives as well. Then you held them 2 for 14 on third down, and you lose by 8. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, I think Seattle had more penalties than Houston. I have to go back and look, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Seattle had more. I think Seattle had more penalties than Houston, if I'm not mistaken. So, so the thing is, like, so if that's the case, if all those things are the case, the defense did exactly, even though they gave up two scoring drives early on, the defense did exactly what they were supposed to do offensively, didn't hold up their end of the bargain. And eventually, like I said, if it hasn't started already, and you actually starting to see crumbs and crumblets of it right now, of them having a mutiny on their hand. When if you're talking about D'Amico Ryans said he tells the defense to do something, and then the defense turned around and didn't do it. Then also same thing with Fairbairn. He told Fairbairn to kick the ball to kick the ball out of the kick out of bounds, so preserve clock. Fairbairn says that yeah, it was told to either kick it out of bounds or a touchback. So which one is it? Like so, it's like I said, we already start to see crumbs and crumblets right now of, like I say, of a mutiny beginning, and also D'Amico just losing the locker room. So when and it's the elephant in the room that we are not talking about. The elephant in the room that we're not talking about because people we like. I said this several times. I said this after the 0-3 start when I made the video about the defensive coordinator. I mean about the offense coordinator. That if an offense coordinator is changed, that Nick Caley's taking somebody else with him. It's going to be a casualty of war. If it's Nick Caserio or if it's D'Amico Ryans. People say D'Amico Ryans is untouchable. It's not going to be D'Amico Ryans. And that very well might be true because I don't think it will be D'Amico Ryans. But not too fast to say it won't be him because if he's lost the locker room, then it has to be him. If he lost the locker room, you gotta get rid of everything. You gotta get rid of everything if he did lose the locker room. Because ain't no coming back from that. I don't give a damn how good the damn defense is playing. Ain't no coming back if the locker room don't trust what he's doing. And I said this, he acts like he doesn't care about the offense. He doesn't know the offense. He lets the offense and the offensive coordinator, he leads them up to their own vices. He let them do whatever it is they want to do. He let them do hey, what y'all want to do? Go ahead. He don't bench nobody. He don't pull nobody. He don't change no personnel. He don't take away play calling duties. He doesn't do anything. On the defense side of football, he does. On the defense side of football, he criticizes the defense all the time. They didn't do this. They didn't do this. I said he acts like a defensive coordinator, but he's a damn head coach. We didn't hire you to be the Texans DC. We hired you to be the Texans head football coach, which means you're the CEO of the organization. You're the CEO. CJ's the face of the franchise. You're the CEO of the ship. They're walking behind you. So you have to do your job. You have to have your hand in all the pots. Offensive pot, defensive pot, special teams pot, kick return pot, safety pot, secondary, offensive line, running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, linebackers, defensive line. Your hand got to be in every single pot in that kitchen. Every single pot in that kitchen. You have to affect every single thing. Everything you have to be a part of. But anything offensively, you hit the Heisman on it. You hit the Heisman on it. You push it over there. That's what you do. You hit the Heisman on it. That's what you do. You stiff arm it. Like Derrick Henry stiffed on JSN on Monday night. That's what you do. You hit him with the stiff arm, the Heisman. And you just worry about the defense. And you just let the offense do what they do. And that's the reason why you're 2-4. That's the reason why you start off 0-3, and people talking about that we were overreacting. People talking about, hey, you gonna make a video to apologize to Nick Caley. I mean, we put up 44 points against the Baltimore Ravens that had 2 players on it, and already was the 175th worst defense in NFL history. You gonna put some respect on Nick Caley and apologize to Nick Caley? You gonna make a video about Nick Caley apologizing? And then we get this performance on Monday night. But I'm supposed to apologize to Nick Caley though. Like, I'm supposed to apologize to Nick Caley because I made a video talking about hiring somebody else to be an offensive coordinator. You know what? You're right. Right now, Friday, October 25th, October 23rd, 24th. I'm sorry, October 24th on this live stream. I do apologize, Nick Caley. Nick Caley, I'm sorry that I didn't make a damn video sooner about how you was trash. How about that? You know what? You're right. I will apologize. I didn't make a damn video sooner about how trash you was. I should have made a video after week 1, after the Rams. I should have made a video and said that you was a horrible but hot butter garbage defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator rather, and we should have made a video about you then about replacing you for some type of offensive coordinator, either Byron Leftwich or Mike McDaniels or Mike McCarthy or Doug Peters or any other offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien. Bobby damn Slowick is a better offensive coordinator than Nick Caley. That's who I am. I apologize. So I apologize, Nick Caley. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't make one sooner about how trash you were. Grade A garbage. Grade A premium package hot butter garbage as an offensive coordinator. I apologize that I didn't make one sooner. I'm so sorry. I apologize to all the Texas fans out there that I didn't bring this to our attention much sooner about how trash of an offensive coordinator is, how he shouldn't step foot nowhere near NRG Stadium at all. He shouldn't put on no H-Town blue, no Deep Steel blue, no Liberty White, no Battle Red. He don't put on nothing. Nothing. Go back to New England. I would say go back to LA, but they don't want you there nowhere because you don't belong with them. You should go with the back with Vrabel in New England and go with your people out there in New England and take Nick Caserio with you. And take Greg Popovich, Chris Popovich, the Popovich that coach the offensive line, take him with you. And really, the way Frank Ross acting, you can take his John Carroll ass back too. And all of them out there that used to go to John Carroll, all of them can go. They all go right back to New England, John Carroll, wherever they came from. They can all go back over there. Exactly. So I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the Texas fans out there. I apologize. I didn't make one sooner. I really am. I apologize. I'm so sorry for that because I should have, because that's how trash and atrocious this offense has been, and it ruined this season, and it's ruining your franchise quarterback. Right now, we are ruining our franchise quarterback, running our franchise quarterback right into the dirt. He's losing confidence. He's feeling uncomfortable. He looks uncomfortable. He looks like he's not having fun. He looks like he don't even want to be in Houston, Texas no more because we've ruined him with these stupid decisions that we made. Because we didn't go out there and get any experienced offensive coordinator to run this team offensively, knowing that our goal was AFC Championship or bust. We didn't been there and done that, make it to the playoffs. We didn't been there, done that, won the AFC South. We didn't done that, won a wild card game. We have yet to win a playoff game on the road. We have yet to go to the AFC Championship game, let alone a Super Bowl and win one. That was the goal. Your team was already ready to go. And what did you do? You went out and hired an offensive coordinator that ain't had no experience, ain't called 2 plays before, ain't never called nothing. He didn't get Sean McVay don't even let the man call plays in preseason. And how about this? This is the kicker that nobody talks about. Why we hire somebody on the Rams staff that wasn't even the offensive coordinator? Because the Rams actually do have a coordinator. They have an offensive coordinator. Mike LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, little brother, Matt LaFleur, the coach of the Green Bay Packers. His brother, Mike LaFleur, actually is the Rams offensive coordinator. Now, he don't call plays. He don't call plays because McVay calls plays. But he's the offensive coordinator. Why we ain't hire him? Why we talk to the tight end coach? And the offense, why we talk to the tight end coach? That don't make no sense. That's stupid. That doesn't make any damn sense. None whatsoever. That don't make no sense at all. Shout out Chris for Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Justin is a top 5 quarterback with a O-line made by paper. The Vikings dominate the Vikings. Yeah, the Colts own the Chargers while people still hating on us losing every game. Yet we continue to be the best. We can go 16-1 and still get side-eyed. Shout out Chris for Super Chat love. Indy's not going 16-1. They're not going 16-1. I mean, yeah, I've been stopped side-eyed in Indianapolis. Back when they went was it? I know they went 3-0, so I guess they went 4-1. When Indy was 4-1, I knew Indy was like for real. Like as far as like again, I don't know what Indy's going to do long term. I don't have faith in Indy long term that they're going to do anything like long term as far as in the playoffs. I think they'll probably be one and done in the playoffs. They might end up getting They might end up getting the number 1 seed and getting the first round bye. That's extremely plausible. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they got first round bye. I wouldn't be. Now the thing is, some of these teams that you would think that would win the division, like a Buffalo, a KC, and stuff like that, are going to be sitting in wild card spots. So you might end up seeing one of them early on instead of seeing like a weaker wild card team that you would normally see. But I do think that Indy will make the playoffs. I actually think the Indy more likely will win the division. I don't know if they're going to win the number one seed. I think it's a good chance they win the number one seed, especially if they win the division, obviously. But 16-1, I don't think they go 16-1 because that means y'all going to win out because y'all already got y'all one loss. It'd been different if y'all was undefeated and you like saying y'all might stub y'all toe. Y'all not going 16-1. And if y'all did go 16-1, I don't think people would side eye y'all. But I do think that people still have reservations, kind of like the Vikings. With the Vikings last year, only lost 3 games. The Vikings only lost 3 games last year, and then went to the playoffs and got like destroyed in the playoffs by the Rams. So I think people feel like Indy is very more similar to that team than any of your typical teams. I mean, we also seen a couple years with Tennessee. Tennessee won the number one seed. Without Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry got hurt, and Tennessee won the number one seed, and then turned around and lost to the Bengals in their first playoff game. So we've seen this before in this direct division. We've seen this before in this actual direct division with Tennessee a couple years ago under Mike Vrabel. So I will say that. But like I say, shout out Chris for Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. Um, yeah, but I don't think that like I don't know, like offensively is obviously offensively the problem. The defense is doing what they need to do, but yet, like I said before, eventually, if it hasn't started already, D'Amico will lose the locker room. You got little crumblets and little remnants of a mutiny starting, and a mutiny will continue to happen if the offense don't get their head out and actually make plays. And now, right now, you're doing it. You're not going to have any receivers because tell me why we trade for Kurt. We draft a receiver in the second round, then turn around draft a receiver in the third round. Yet it's week 8 and we ain't got no receivers. It's week 8. We ain't got no receivers. We traded for Kurt, draft a receiver in the second and third round. So 2 receivers. So you add in 3 receivers. It's week 8 NFL season. We already ain't got no receivers. We already are hurt from the receiver positions forward. And think it's only one. It'd be different like if 4 receivers would have got hurt, like some crazy stuff would happen. No. The one receiver that gets hurt every year, Nico Collins, got hurt right on cue. And yet we sitting here like we ain't got no receivers. I don't want to hear nothing about they young because when Mike Evans went down again, Mike Evans went down twice. They worried in Tampa Bay? No, they ain't worried about nothing in Tampa Bay. They not worried at all. CeeDee Lamb is a bona fide top 5 receiver because most people consensus receivers is Jamar Chase, Jettis, and then CeeDee is either 3rd or 4th in most people's board of receivers. Dallas lose CeeDee Lamb. Dallas offense ain't miss a beat. He didn't miss a beat. George Pickens said, bet. I got you. Hey, Dak. I got you, Dak. I got you, big dog. I got you. And Dak said, bet. And was throwing the football all up and down the field. And we seen George Pickens out there balling. George Pickens been out there balling every single week. Balling so good that we forgot that I know this past week when I seen AA out there, I said, oh, snap. CD back. I didn't even know CD was back. It wasn't even a big deal. It wasn't even an announcement. Hey, CD gonna play. It didn't need to because the offense wasn't missing beat. They're the number 1 offense in the NFL. They're the number 1 offense in the NFL. That offense been cooking all year long with or without CeeDee Lamb. They ain't miss a beat. They ain't miss one. Not one single beat. Yeah, we lost Nico Collins. Now we up here. Oh, we don't know what to do. We ain't got no help. Oh man, what we gonna do? We ain't got no receivers. We ain't got no receivers. Higgins run routes all slow. Jalen Noel can't get on the field. I don't know what Hutch doing. Like What we gonna do? Like we up here whining and crying, bitching and complaining. We ain't got no receivers because Nick Casario want to be the smartest man in the room. Hey, can't nobody do it like me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this pick right here, this first round pick. I'm gonna move down into the second and the third round. I'm gonna break it up. I'm gonna get second and third and fourth round picks off this one pick. Cause I know it's premium talent in the first round. I understand the talent is better in the first round. But what I'm gonna do, because I'm smarter than all these other jokers out here, I'm me with my brain, with my intellect, because I'm smarter than everybody out here. Because I was with the Patriots for 20 years and we got Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl because we had Tom Brady. I'm going to play 5-dimension checkers and chess. And I'm going to take this pick and I'm going to get some receivers from Iowa State. Now I'm Michigan. Now Ohio State. Now Louisiana Southern State. Now a Georgia, a Florida, a OU, a UT, a Ole Miss, a USC. I'm going to go to Iowa State. And I'm going to draft 2 receivers from Iowa State. I already got 1 receiver from Iowa State. Like, hey, that's the new craze. Everybody getting a whole bunch of receivers and people from the same schools, even though they get the quarterback from their school. And if I'm not mistaken, the quarterback that we have played at Ohio State, and there's been several receivers in recent years, including this current draft, that had Ohio State talent that you could have got, that had the same chemistry and played at the same time, and you could have utilized them to actually piggyback off of that instead of getting some receivers from Iowa State to do this. And then even though you do that, some of them can't even get on the field because your offensive coordinator don't know what he's doing. And then the one that's balling in the return game, you take him out to put in Braxton Berrios that ain't played none this season for what? And then you changing out left guard. That's another thing. D'Amico Ryan gonna say some stupid stuff like changing out the guard position is the best thing for the team. That doesn't make no damn sense to change out juice scrubs and what you call like you're changing out guards. If you gotta change out both of your guards every other play or every other drive, that means that neither one of them need to be on the field because neither one of them are good. If you gotta keep changing out your guards, like this is stupid. Like that's dumb. Like that's completely idiotic. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Like, what are you what are you talking about, bro? Like, that's just stupid. That's just complete stupidity. That doesn't make any damn sense. None whatsoever. That don't make no damn sense. Like my mama say, they don't even make cartoon sense. Because cartoons do so much crazy stuff, it don't never make no sense. They don't even make cartoon sense. They don't even make cartoon sense. That's stupid. That's just straight dumb. It don't even make sense in a damn cartoon. That's how stupid it is. It's dumb. It's absolutely idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. Absolutely. But yet, D'Amico Ryan says it. And like I said before, we doing all this. We couldn't went out there and got some actual dogs. We could have got some actual playmakers. Had opportunities to. You could have got some playmakers last year in the draft. But you went out there, you got Stephon Diggs. All right, cool. This year, you shouldn't have wasted around and played with that. Should have went out there, you should have got Ibuka. Could have got Burden. But no. You went out there and you got Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. And I think that Jalen Noel has something, just can't get on the field. Because I seen something Monday. Like I said, how he went up there and got the football on right before halftime, that 20-yard reception, and then that play he made on 4th and 5 at the 1-yard line. I seen some things out of Jalen Noel. He on the other side. He was the one that got the football snatched out of his hands in the first game of the season against the Rams and gave CJ interception. And like other than that, like I don't see Higgins getting any separation. I don't really see that. I do think that, like, sidebar, I think getting a receiver next year in free agency or the draft is very important. I really do. Mostly in the draft, early on in the draft, you need some playmakers. I also need some playmakers on the ground, like, because what's going on with Chubb ain't it. Chubb is not good enough to run through this run with this bad blocking. And same thing with Woody Marks. Woody Marks cannot be a featured full time back. Woody Marks cannot be somebody that you give the football, you turn around and give the football to 25 times. That's one reason why I wanted to trade for Brees Hall. Let Brees Hall be the primary running back, and you utilize Woody Marks in the passing game. You can utilize them both in the passing game. That's what Woody Marks is good at. Woody Marks is a guy that you can get on the outside. You can utilize him on pitches and tosses and screens and things like that. You cannot turn around and hand the football off to Woody Marks 25, 30 times a game. You're not going to be able to do that. And he cannot run with this bad offensive line. He needs better blocking in front of him. That's the reason why it's better to get him out in open space. That's why he'll be better for you, suited for you right now as a running back out of the backfield, catching the football out of the backfield, and maybe get some little toss and pitches and encounters and things like that, getting him on the edges and able to let him use the edge and the sideline. Because if you try to use any of this in the front, he not running up no B gaps. He not running up them gaps. He not. You're gonna need to get him on the outside, get him on some, like I said, some tosses, some pitches, some corners, some counters. You're gonna have to do some things like that. You're gonna have to get him on the outside and let him utilize the space. That's gonna be his best friend when it comes to him running the football. If you want to utilize him in the ground game, mostly you're probably going to utilize him as dumping the little screens off and getting the football that way. Because once he gets the football in open space, he's able to do something with it. But giving him the football behind the line of scrimmage and have to let him get everything on his own, he ain't that type of running back. He's not. He doesn't have the ability to do that. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need weapons pretty soon. And like I said, it's already week 8, and we're in the same situation we were in all last year. Week 8, and it's week 8 already. Week 8 can't protect CJ. He's getting hit. Offense can't move the football. Offense can't score. Offense looks worse. Offense is stagnant. You don't have any other receiver outside Nico Collins. And really, this year, Nico ain't really been looking all that high anyway. Nico ain't been looking like he was Nico. So, like, you can't, you don't have any weapons offensively throw the football to. You don't have a running game. Like, all the problems that you had for the last year for the last year have reared their ugly head again. It's only week 8. Shout out to boy Chris once again for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. It's not Kaylee's fault. Your offense is trash. CJ seeing ghosts, overthrowing players. You guys still in the honeymoon phase and never gave CJ accountability. Shout out Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. No, I think people definitely have blamed CJ. Absolutely, people have definitely blamed CJ. But no, it is Katie's fault. It's a combination of a lot of things. Actually, it's not all one things, but the one thing that you definitely do need to change is Nick Caley. Like, the reason why it is Nick Caley is just my personnel. CJ ain't the one that got this out there putting Dara in or putting DP in, putting Dara in a crucial moment, putting Dara in the what's that thing called? Going for a 2-point conversion. Also, CJ's not also the one going for a 2-point conversion when your defense scores a touchdown with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, and you still have a whole fourth quarter and 7 minutes left of the third quarter and an entire fourth quarter, and you're down by 4. CJ ain't the one that making that call. CJ's not the one that's not putting Jalen Noel in. CJ's not the one that substitute Braxton Berrios out in the return game for Jalen Noel. CJ's not the one that's fumbling the football going into when you're going into in the red zone, potentially take the lead. CJ's not the one that's dropping the football. CJ's definitely making bad decisions and making bad throws. I'm not saying that he's not, but also CJ's also throwing the football right to his receiver's hands and on third down, and his receiver's not making plays for him either. He's also dumping the football off to his running back, and his running back got stone hands. It's also that. He's also There's also a guy. He doesn't have his offensive lineman. You got 5 offensive linemen blocking one player in one play. Like CJ's not doing that. That's not CJ. That's a multitude of a lot of things. But I do think that Nick Caley definitely deserves a lot of the bulk and the blame. But shout out Chris for super chat love. I said all this. I ain't even talked about what I even think for the game. I've been up here ranting and raving. I ain't talked about exactly with the actual game though. I've been up here ranting and raving and being mad about the Texans and stuff like that. And I even say exactly what I think is going to happen in the actual game. So the 5-2 San Francisco 49ers are coming to NRG to face the 2-4 Houston Texans. Uh, Now Houston's at home. Houston's a 2-point favorite. I've told y'all before, you normally get 2.5, depending on the team, 2.5 to 3 points favorite for being at home. So for the Texans to be at even 2 points, that means on a neutral field, they have it as a pick'em game. So it means if we was in San Fran, same thing. We probably San Fran they'd probably be like a 2.5 point favorite. San Fran probably a 2.5 point favorite at home. But the Texans are a 2 point favorite at home. I think a lot of that got to do with Brock Purdy being out, and also the injuries that they have on defense. Houston has a legitimate defense, and also like their offense can't score in the end zone. Their offense gets yardage. Their offense can move the football, but they don't really get into the end zone a lot. The over under is 42, so they have the over under no more than 42 points a game. So we're talking about a 20 to 21 game is really where they got it. It's really what kind of like they got it like slighted and stuff like that. Is that 20 to 21 point game. Uh, I think it's going to be a defensive game. I do think that it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think with the Texans defense you're going to get high scoring. I don't think that neither team scores a lot of points, but I do think we will see the ball do get into the end zone a couple times. Ace Town Blue, we all know how we feel about this Ace Town Blue. Say this like I said against Jacksonville. I know this is against my better judgment. I'm picking the Texans to win 20-17. Um, I don't think the season is completely over just yet, but they gotta start getting some wins. And this will be the last game that they can afford to lose if they want to get into the playoffs. If they lose Sunday, they have to win every game until they play Buffalo. That means if they lose this game, that means they'll be 2-5. It means they will have to beat Denver, Jacksonville, Tennessee to be 5-5 to go into that Thursday night game against Buffalo. And really, to be honest, they actually got to beat Buffalo. They have to be so that means they would have to win. They would have to win those 4 games until they go to the game where they go at Indy. And then you got at Indy and then at KC the following week on Sunday Night Football. So they cannot afford to lose any game in that stretch if they lose on Sunday. Now, if they win Sunday, they can afford to lose 1 game, but it can't be against Jacksonville or Tennessee. They have to win those 2 divisional games. So they could afford to lose maybe Buffalo or lose Denver, but they cannot afford to lose they can't afford to lose Jacksonville or Tennessee in any capacity because they've already lost to Jacksonville. They would have beaten Jacksonville earlier this year, been a different story. So that's why this game is very important because it's really they last one little slip up for a while. They can't lose until basically to December. They have to win all the way until December. So they will forfeit their chances to lose the rest of the next month and a half, 2 months. So they have to win out all the way at least until December, and then depending on how the rest of the situation goes, and even still, they might still. I mean, you can make a case if they lose Sunday that they got to win out, like to make the playoffs, or at the very least to win the division. You can make that case to win the division. They got to win out because Indy doesn't have a tough schedule. So yeah, you can beat Indy twice. That gives Indy 3 losses. You still behind the 8 ball by 2 games, and you would need them to. Now Indy does play KC, and they do play. Who else they play? That's a tough opponent. I think they play. I think they play. They still got Seattle. Yeah, they haven't played Seattle yet, so they still got Seattle later on this season. And they also got the 49ers. So if you do lose this, you pretty much got to win out and hope that Indy drop another 2 games that be able to put you back into win the division. But you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You want to go ahead and get a win right now. And I do think because of, like I said, really offensively, it's really just McCaffrey. So if you can find a way to shut down McCaffrey. But again, I'm not worried about the 49ers offense. The 49ers offense is not what worries me. What worries me is this Texans offense and lack thereof scoring and lack thereof getting points. That's what worries me and concerns me. Can this offense actually get into the end zone and put up points? And I don't think they can. Trust me and believe, I don't think they can. Maybe the defense can get another score in, something like that. But the offense got to be able to get some points. Maybe you get. That's why I got 20 points, so you can get in the field goal range a couple of times and Favorite can kick a couple of field goals. And really, all you got to do is get in the end zone maybe once, and you may be able to win this game. So I got the Texans winning 20-17. H-Town Blue. I think that they can be able to can get something going, but again, do I have? I know again. Like I said, I know it's against my better judgment. I completely understand it's against my better judgment. I should not be picking the Houston Texans from what I've seen all season long. Not just what I've seen on Monday night, what I've seen this entire season. Those 5 quarters of football included. Like those 5 quarters of football are included. Because like I told people before about this, especially about the Tennessee game, they was in a dogfight with Tennessee for 3 quarters. It took them into the fourth quarter to actually do something offensively, and I think there was just a bad team that just gave up, and they broke a bad team. It was a team that was bad, and they broke them. They broke a bad team, and they was able to get into the end zone a couple times, and able to put the able to get in the end zone. And then when it comes to Baltimore, defense is already the worst defense in the field, and they was missing a whole bunch of people, missing a whole bunch of players, and the Texans offense, credit to the Texans offense for taking advantage. They were able to take advantage and execute and capitalize on those teams missing those players. But I'm not giving you a cookie for that. I'm not when you tell you good job, like okay, cool, that's what you're supposed to do. Do it again. And yet on Monday night, after having 15 days to prepare, you came out and looked even more pathetic than you looked all season long. Just bad, just absolutely bad and horrendous. Now let's get to some of the other games in week 8 in the NFL season because I think some good decent games on. So you have Miami going to Atlanta. Um, I think Atlanta wins, and I do think that finally, Miami go ahead and pulls the plug, and we Miami finally go ahead and pulls the plug, and McDaniels gets fired. So I think Atlanta wins, and McDaniels finally gets fired. Uh, then you have the Jets at Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati gets away with the win. I think Aaron Glenn makes it through the season. 'Cause I actually think Aaron Glenn makes it to next year. But I think at the very least, I think Aaron Glenn makes it through the season though. But I think the Jets lose. I think that they're trying to get the number 1 pick. I feel like they're trying. That's the reason why he's going to make it to the season. At the very least, make it to the season because they want him to get they want the number 1 pick themselves. So I think the Jets get the number 1 pick. So I think that the Jets lose to Cincinnati. Then you have Cleveland at New England. I think New England is just a better football team. I think New England beats Cleveland. You have the Giants at Philly. I want to pick the Giants, but the Giants have already beaten Philly. I doubt that the Giants sweep Philly. So I'll say Philly defeats the Giants. You have Buffalo at Carolina. I think Buffalo defeats Carolina. You have Chicago at Baltimore. No Lamar Jackson. Defense still bad. I think Chicago defeats the Baltimore Ravens. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. New Orleans, I think, is one of the teams that's like one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think Tampa Bay is one of the better teams in the NFL, and I think that the Lions kind of proved that they are the best team in the NFL on Monday night. I think Tampa Bay is still the second best team in the NFL, and I think Tampa Bay goes out there and gets the win. And Tampa Bay defeats New Orleans. Dallas goes to Denver. Um, Dallas had a better defensive effort last week, but I mean, obviously Jalen Daniels got hurt, and they were missing some receivers and things like that. But I think Dallas goes ahead into Mile High in that high altitude. And I think Dak's able to throw the football even more. I think Dallas wins that game. I think Dallas wins, and also I think Williams gonna go out there and get his revenge against Dallas. I mean against Denver himself. So I got Dallas defeating Denver. Tennessee at Indy. Indy's already beaten Tennessee earlier this year, and I think Indy gets the sweep. I think Indy defeats Tennessee. Green Bay at Pittsburgh. This is a Sunday night game. Green Bay has the number one seed in the NFC, and I think that remains. I think Green Bay defeats Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football. Then Monday Night Football, Washington at KC. No, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's going to be in the uh, uh, um Jalen Daniels. I think it's going to be a Mariota game if I'm not mistaken. Even if it was Jalen Daniels, I was still gonna pick KC. I got KC beating Washington. So just to recap, I have Atlanta beat Miami, I have Cincinnati beating the Jets, I have New England beating Cleveland, I have Philly beating the Giants, I have Buffalo beating Carolina, I have Chicago beating Baltimore, I have Tampa Bay beating New Orleans, I have Dallas beating Denver, I have Indy beating Tennessee, I have Green Bay beating Pittsburgh, and I have KC beating Washington. And when you look at the standings, looks at the playoff standings as it stands right now. In the AFC, Indy has the number one seed. New England has the number two seed. Denver has the number three seed. Pittsburgh has the number four seed. And the wild card teams is Buffalo, the Chargers, and Jacksonville. So if the playoffs will start today, Indy will have the bye week. Jacksonville will go to New England. Chargers will go to Denver. Buffalo will go to Pittsburgh. And KC will be sitting at home because they wouldn't be in the playoffs. On the NFC side, Green Bay has the number one seed. San Francisco has the number two seed. Philly has the number three seed. Tampa Bay has the number four seed. And then the wild card teams is Detroit, Seattle, and the Rams. So if the playoffs will start today, Green Bay will have the bye. The Rams will be going to San Francisco. Seattle will be going to Philly. Detroit will be going to Tampa Bay. And as I noticed, three of the four Texan losses have been against the number four seed, and then the other two playoff teams in Seattle and the Rams, and they're about to face the number two seed in the 49ers. So, like I said, the really only real bad, I wouldn't say bad loss, like the loss is like it's just the loss is gonna ultimately end up hurting Texas most of that Jacksonville loss because both the Rams, Tampa Bay, and Seattle are legitimate teams that people can sit up here and say that hey, Seattle could be one of the better teams in the NFC. Tampa's the best team in the NFC. The Rams, they a legitimate team. And then this week you're gonna have the 49ers who are sitting right there as the number two seed in the NFC. So a lot of these different things can be said for a lot of these different teams if you want to be completely honest with it. A lot of these things can have and would be said for a lot of these teams. So I do think that the Texans had a horrible start. And do I think the Texans will make the playoffs? I really don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit up and say, "Oh yeah, I think they're gonna make the playoffs." I'm also gonna sit up and say, "I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs." I really don't know, and the main reason why is because the AFC is so wide open. I mean, like Kansas City is what like 3-3, I think. If I'm not mistaken, KC is like 3-3. Like KC sitting outside the playoffs themselves. Like there's a lot of teams that are hovering around the Texans. The Texans are in arm's reach of grasping as bad as we've been playing. Now, the thing is, do you think that they can actually reach those guys and reach those teams because of how bad they play? I don't really think so. But there is a chance and opportunity. So we'll see. But it's gonna be tough. But like I said, a lot of decisions are gonna have to be made pretty soon. A lot of decisions will have to be made very, very soon about this team and about where they're going from here. Like where they're going from here. I feel like coaching decisions need to be made, changes, front office changes, and personnel changes. Like some personnel changes. And some people on this team that we gonna have to cut bait with. There's some players on the team that we like, that people bought jerseys of, that people draft on their fantasy team, and people like people are huge fans of. That you're gonna have to take those players and move on from them to acquire other things. It's just plain and simple. There's some people on this team that's been to Pro Bowls that you're gonna have to trade. And I'm not talking about like a Pro Bowler that came from another team. I'm talking about people who we've drafted, people who we've given contracts to, people we've made highest pay at their position, people we've drafted in the first round, people who we traded up to go get. Yeah, it's some people on this team that we might have to make some moves about to get more talent around the entire team and to cut bait with some of these people. Who? I don't know, but it's some people. It's some people you got to make some moves with. And like I said, it's definitely front office, coaches. Like some people who like it's some people on the coaching staff you're gonna say bye to that you like just because they once were football players and they like won awards as a football player in your town, in your city. Like, it's some players and players and coaches. Like I said, you really gonna have to make some moves about it because I don't know where it really stops and starts it, to be honest with you, because like it's like that 0-3 start really put you in a bind. I said it then, and people were like, it's early on, it's the preseason. People still getting kinks out. It's people still playing preseason ball. I'll wait till the first like 3 weeks. I mean, I'll wait till the first like 2 months of the season before I really make a decision. By the time it's too late. By the time it's too late. The NFL season's too short. It's not the NBA. With the NBA, you can take a month or two to like, okay, let me really assess this team. You could take a while in the NBA or in baseball. NFL, you can't. NFL, you can get the first 2 weeks. After that, when you go into week three, you gotta be rolling in some capacity. If you starting off over, now I mean you can win like the first couple of weeks and or I'm saying like you can win one out of the first couple of weeks and then like lose some games or whatever and then find yourself big. It's like that like your room for error when you get those many losses early on is very very slim because now you can't afford to stub your toe and like you can't afford to stub your toe. You have to be on your A game, your P's and Q's the entirety of the season. And it's just like a drive. It's just like a 70 yard, 80 yard, 90 yard drive. You can't stub your toe on that drive. You have to go. You have to every single play, every single step. You have to make count because you stub your toe, it might end the drive. You stub your toe, it might end your season and you losing another game and your season to wrap, ain't no playoffs. Playoffs? Ain't no playoffs. Ain't none. When you do stuff like that. Man, appreciate everybody that came through here, man. If you ain't hit the like button already, man, make sure you hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, I'm gonna give you some time down. Make sure you hit the like button. Go ahead right now. Man, like I said, man, if you ain't hit the like button already, dog, make sure you hit the like button. I'm gonna give you some more time. Make sure you hit the like button right now. I'm gonna give you some more time. Hit the like button right now. All right, man. Appreciate everybody that came through here, man. Yeah, appreciate everybody that came through here, man. Hit that like button. Everybody came here and watch. Everybody hit the super chat. Appreciate that. Y'all know how much that means every time you hit that super chat. Definitely appreciate that. Y'all know how much that means to me every time you hit that super chat. I definitely appreciate all that. I appreciate the love. Like I said, I have a poll. It's still up. So go on the community wall right now. It's a poll right now on the community wall. Right, go up. It says if the Texans make a move before the trade deadline, who would you want to make? Who would you want? It's 4 positions, 4 different players, 4 different positions. Go out there and vote for who you want it to be. If you ain't voted already, make sure you go vote. If you voted but you didn't leave a comment, man, make sure you leave a comment. If you voted and you left the comment but you ain't like, man, make sure you hit the like. That's the first thing you should do with that like button. But make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you vote and make sure you comment because I'm gonna do a video based off of that. And those results are gonna make their way in the video. And the comment that you left might make the way in the video. So make sure you leave a comment. Even if the person that you voted for got like 1%, still leave a comment because your comment might show up even more because your person ain't get that many votes. It's like, okay, well, this person voted or people voted for this person, but it wasn't the majority. But this is a good idea and a good pitch for this person. Why this person does make a lot of sense. So make sure y'all go hit that like button. Also, make sure y'all pull up immediately after the game. Immediately after the game right after the game. Pull up right here immediately after the game. Make sure y'all pull up. And we're gonna talk about exactly what we see. We're gonna break it down exactly what we seen. So make sure y'all come through and watch immediately after the game. We're gonna talk about what we just seen, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're gonna break it down. Did it help? Did we lose? Did we win? How we look? Are we back in the mode? Are we back ready to go out there? Are we back ready to achieve and get to the playoffs? Do we get to one step closer to 500? Because if we win, we'll be 3-4 going hosting Denver, and then we could potentially be 4-4 going into Jacksonville. Well, hosting Jacksonville again. That's putting the cart before the horse. We got to handle San Francisco first. So make sure y'all pull up immediately after the game. Y'all check out what we did. I'm gonna talk about breaking down, man. I said shout out to everybody that came through here. Definitely appreciate that, man. You hit the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. You hit that like button. I definitely appreciate that. Make sure y'all comment, y'all share, y'all subscribe, y'all like the video, y'all comment on the video, y'all share the video on all your social media platforms. Make sure y'all follow me on social media. The link is in the description. So if you're not following me on none of the social media, shame on you. The link is in the description of this video right now. Like right now. So make sure y'all go follow me on social media. Instagram, Twitter, all that good fine stuff. Make sure y'all go follow your boy. Make sure y'all go follow your boy. Also, I have the Texans winning 20-17. I got the Texans defeating the San I have the Texans defeating the San Francisco 49ers 20-17. Fairbairn kicks a game winning field goal. I'll put it like that. Fairbairn kicks a game winning field goal. That's how Texans win. Like, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell. Get more videos. I holla.